in the wood yard. I'm back at Tyler's grandma's place, his hunting property. We've got the Brute Force.
Semi-pro.
Semi-pro. I knew that's what it was. I was just testing you. We used it yesterday. We split a whole bunch of ash. I said elm, but it was ash.
Ash, yep.
And today we've got a big pile of cherry. We've got some back over here you can see, and there's a whole big pile behind the camera. I'll show you in a minute. So let's get busy splitting. Okay, so we are at Tyler's hunting property, his grandma's place.
Yep.
And he has got a lot of cherry here. So where'd you get this?
This was from a tree line that a farmer wanted me to take out this past winter. So there was 15, 20 cherry trees, a little bit of box elder, and one cedar tree. And
so how did you come about this bonanza of cherry? How did that happen?
Facebook Marketplace.
There you go.
Just FIREWOOD was the title. I clicked on it, reached out to him. He's like, I got a little hill here of some stuff, and it was some pine that I haven't got to yet. But he's like, the main thing I want done this winter is this tree line. He showed me, and I saw it was all cherry. I'm like, I'll do the whole thing.
Yeah, and it's nice size stuff too.
Yeah,
I mean,
it was there's some barbed wire hit one time with a chain, but
and then this locust. Where did you get this locust?
This is from our property here.
Oh, right here you got this, huh?
Yep. Dragged it up out of the pines with a cable and hauled it up to the top of the edge of the field and cut it up and threw it in the back of the truck and unloaded it here.
So just to guess, how much cherry do you think you got here?
Well, I did probably 4 trailer loads to get this here.
So it's at least 3 or maybe 4 full cords?
I would say so, because I had 8 face cords of cherry already split from the same tree line at my parents' house.
Oh.
So there's probably going to be at least 3 or 4 full cords of cherry just here alone.
More than 3.
Yeah.
And then the
locust is probably at least a quarter locust.
Maybe, I'd say maybe even a little bit more once we get it split.
And that's all barkless.
Yeah.
Fell down here 2 years ago and it's been stuck in the woods, and we've had to cut our way to it to get it out.
Yeah.
Way down in the valley, and had to pull it out with the cable.
Nice stuff. Well, let's make this baby do some work. This ought to be fun.
Yes, it will be.
Is she a thirsty girl?
Not bad.
No, that's a pretty good sized tank. You must have a 1.5 gallons maybe?
I think so, yeah. It's a big tank for a little motor, but it seems to do. I mean, we run this thing for 2 hours?
Yeah, something like that. I'm sure that's 100% ethanol. You got corn in there, right?
Nope. Ethanol free. And I got the old school tanks without the government.
And you got the relief valve. That's the way to do it. Dump it in.
That's what's convenient about having these old tanks.
Yeah, they work.
Yeah.
That's convenient?
Yeah.
Isn't that? That's the way it should be. It should just work. Crank her up.
Yep.
You can only go a little bit at a time.
It would be nice. Hang on, I'll put that hitch in and we can just, then we just lift the hitch off.
Yeah, then you can get some leverage.
Oh, hang on, we're on that. Oh, we got over it.
We got enough horsepower. So we're gonna turn it up. That looks good. We should probably go that way, a couple feet.
Yep.
So we did a bunch of cherry, and the cherry is gonna go right in the rack right there. So we know that that's probably more than enough to fill that rack. So we quit there till we get this cleaned up. And there's still a lot of cherry to go, but we moved the splitter, the Brute Frost Semi-Pro, moved it down here, and somebody has a canopy we're gonna put up because we're melting in the sun here. It's like 80 some degrees and no wind. And then we're gonna attack this locust that's right here, just for something different, because we've done a bunch of cherry now, so I figured let's try some locust. So that's what we're gonna do. But first we have to fill the girl up because she's an alcoholic. She likes to drink.
Yes, she does.
How much gas you got in there?
About a quarter.
Oh, so yeah, that's a pretty good sized tank. I'm thinking that might be a gallon and a half. And then we'll just let the wood fall right off the end because it's going to go in that pallet right there, this rack. So we can fill this up. What's under this tarp right here?
A bunch of wood from this fall.
So we could pull that out if we had to. You could fill these. We could even split these hollow logs here, this oak. You could fill this whole thing up because you're going to need to, because you got a lot of wood there.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
Although I got to say, this is a good spot, even though it's along the edge of a wood line. It's a very good spot for drying because it gets the sun pretty much all day.
Afternoon.
Yeah.
And all evening.
Yeah. So we moved the splitter, and then we got a pop-up shelter because the sun was hot. It was 80 some degrees and there's no wind, so it was toasty. Putting that the pop-up shelter up was really nice. And then we switched over to splitting this locust. Now this locust, Tyler said it had been in the woods for a couple of years, and then they finally got it cut up and then into rounds. But even the stuff without the bark, when we split it apart, was still very wet on the inside. But the fact that the bark was off, which is what happens when locust dies, the bark comes off real fast after it dies because it shrinks down. And it's real messy, stringy kind of bark. And so working with this stuff without bark was just awesome. Now, for those of you that don't have locusts, it's excellent firewood. It's better than oak and as good as hickory, if not better. It has a lot of BTUs, burns real slow, puts out a lot of heat. So locust is a high quality firewood. Now, I just thought I'd record some comments about the splitter as you watch this, because there's a lot of thoughts I had. This cradle where you can just drop the logs right into it, super nice because it just centers the piece directly right onto the wedge, so you don't really have to do much. And we did a lot of double splits there. I was just testing to see how wet it was. It was still pretty wet inside. So yeah, we're able to drop a piece in and then put another one on top so that you can do a double split. And the fact that you can have the single wedge up on top, so if you want to hold a small piece up and just split it in half, is really nice. You can do that. And like a lot of people do when they have a splitter that has a log lift, you end up using it as a staging table a lot. The wedge on this has like a double wedge. There's a front part you can see, and then there's like a wing in the back on each side. So when it reaches the far side of the wedge, it flares out, which is really nice. It seems to separate the wood really nicely. And we did this a lot. We did a lot of double stacking, which is really nice because it speeds up the process a lot. And when you got that tall wedge on the top like that, you can do that. So it works really good. Now the speed on the ram goes really fast going back. Coming forward, pretty similar to my Easton Made Ultra. I would say power-wise, they're very similar. But the biggest difference is, well, several things. One is that there's that cradle. You can just drop the pieces in. Obviously, it's got the log lift, which that feature in itself adds quite a bit to the cost, but also adds to the value of what the machine can do for you, I think. So it's really nice. His wedge on this machine adjusts faster up and down. because you don't have to crawl underneath. It's just you stand to the side, pull a pin out, lift it up, shove the pin back in. So I think with practice, you probably could adjust it almost as fast as you did if you had a hydraulic adjustment. Being that it's a semi-pro model, that's probably why they didn't put it on there, to keep the cost down. But it does work well. The other thing that I really liked was the push plate. There's those points that stick out on the corners of the push plate. It's an octagon shape, so you've got, it looks like there's 8, I think. Yeah, probably 8 points that stick out, which really grab the wood. I mean, it doesn't slip at all, which is great. The levers up on top where you do the control, the one that's for the ram is a little higher, so it's pretty easy to have your hand reach for that first instead of the log lift. But when I first started, I did hit the log lift a couple times, and it went up on me or down, whatever direction I hit it, and I wasn't prepared for it. And these smaller rounds that we're doing, you could lift up on there, but that one that Tyler's bringing right now is a bigger one, and we do use the log lift coming up here real soon. And the log lift is excellent. It's really nice to have to bring up the big pieces. But when you get monster pieces, rounds that are, you know, above 30 inches, you know, especially if they're, you know, well over 30 inches, you know, the 36 inches or 40 inches, they're so big as far as handling, just trying to get them on the log lift, that in my opinion, once they get to be probably, you know, in the 28 to 30 inch range, I think it's easier just to rip them in half, because just managing those things to get them to the log lift is a pain, because a 20-inch round of green cut wood is close to 200 pounds. I've weighed quite a few of them just to find out over the years, and a lot of wood is that heavy, especially any wood that has a lot of moisture content, even like cottonwood. You get a 22, 24-inch round, it's going to weigh a couple hundred pounds. So that's why when I get to that size, I like to just rip them down so it's not such a hassle. But this locust, being that it was grown in his woods, here we're using the log lift, you can see how it goes down nice and gradual. Tyler's rolling around, and I'm going to lift it up here. You got to be real careful, because you can real easily push too hard on the lever, and you got a lot of hydraulic force there, and you can throw the log right at you. So you got to really be careful and feather it. Now there is an adjustment. There's a valve adjustment on it where you can feather it down a little bit, but you still got to be careful with the control lever that you don't overdo it and give it too much juice and have it come flying at you. So if you just barely touch it up and down, you can feather it off pretty nice and get good control with it. And it took me a little bit to get the hang of it, and Tyler said the same thing too when he first used it. He was throwing logs in the air because there's a lot of power there with that lift. But like I said, when you get the big monster rounds, I think you're better off just ripping them so you got something easier to handle, because you still got to get them to the lift. And if you've got chunks that are hundreds of pounds, I think you're better off just ripping them down and then having halves or quarters to manage, which is a lot easier. And if you got a big enough saw, you can rip pretty darn quick. But this locust can be some really nice wood for him. Now that we get it split, it'll dry. And like he said, it was 2 years old and it was still wet on the inside. You could feel the moisture. I held it up to my lips and you could feel the moisture. But Tyler just keeps bringing me the rounds, and I keep just going to town. It's a splitter that I gotta say, the more I used it, the more I liked it. Worked really well. I'm kind of jealous. It's a nice one. It's a machine that I think will give him a lot of years of use. Brute Force makes some really good stuff, and really a nice splitter. And we were trying to think of what that material is that's on the wear plate. It's phenolic material, phenolic, and that's what there is. So you don't have to grease the rail at all. It's a wear plate underneath the slide on the push plate, and it's phenolic material. So there I'm kind of feathering up. You see, I kind of got the hang of it there. It took me a while to get the hang of it, so I wasn't chucking the big couple 100 pounds chunks of wood in the air, because it was pretty easy to do. You look at even there. So you get a piece that's that big, you got to manhandle them to get them back, because obviously you're not going to split the whole thing all in one shot, and that's why I still am in favor of ripping big ones down because you got to eventually handle them somehow. You can't just depend on the log lift to do everything for you. But like the size of this thing, trying to pull it on there, it's not that easy. It's a lot of work to wrangle those big chunks. But yeah, the splitter worked really good. It was a lot of fun, other than it was a hot day. We got a lot of wood split. We did a whole bunch of cherry, a whole bunch of locust, and so it was a lot of fun. There we go. We killed the locust. There was a bunch there. It split really nice though. We're kind of in a groove now too.
Yeah.
It can just, like a machine, it takes two. And I was thinking as I was running this, I don't know that I'd want to split alone with this machine.
No.
You got somebody feeding you.
Yeah, you do.
Kind of like my Ultra. You got it, somebody feeding you, because you can just go so much faster if you don't have to stop and load.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, it worked really good. So yeah, we split all this right over this direction because he's got 2 racks here. We can. Not we, I mean you.
Yeah, I'll stack it tomorrow.
And then we also did the pile of cherry, which you see right over there.
Yeah.
And so we got a bunch done.
Probably 2.5 cords or so, something like that.
Total?
2? Yeah, total.
I'd say close to 3.
Yeah, something like that. A lot.
We were in the sun there for a while, so we put the canopy up, and that was really nice. But now the sun is starting to go down.
Yeah.
It cooled off. It feels way better in here now. So.
Oh yeah.
But the canopy helped a lot. But yeah, the splitter just worked awesome. I really like it a lot. The more I run it, the more I like it.
Yeah, you want one?
Yeah, I'll take this one. This would be a good one. So there you go. You got to see the Brute Force Semi-Pro. Awesome machine. Worked really good. We got a lot of wood split, and I'm kind of looking forward to using it again.
Yeah. To split yet too.
Oh yeah, you got lots more. Oh yeah, look behind the camera here. I'll show you. Look at there. It's got a whole pile of cherry to go yet there, so we're just barely making a dent in it. Plus, you got all the trees to cut down in the woods there, so you could split out every day for about, what, 2-3 months and not get it done?
Oh, exactly. If not more. Plus, hauling it out is half the work.
Yeah,
getting out of that valley there.
Yeah, you're up on a hill here, so you got to go down the hole to get it, that's just the way it is.
Yeah.
But that's why it's down there and it's not up here.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
So there you go, folks. That's it for today. Into Poke the Buttons. We'll be back tomorrow, 5:30 a.m. with another video for you. Between now and then, go to my channel. Watch all the videos.
Good night, Irene.
There you go.